So it turns out with the Power Sword, Newcastle has an exclusive animation, and it made me realise there's tons of Legend exclusive animations in the game, like an animation only Maggie has when picking up shotguns, an animation only Mirage has with the P20s, and many more like Newcastle and his Power Sword. So let's go over every single one. Starting off with exclusive inspect animations, as a few seasons ago, the Havoc finally got its own inspect animation, and a lot of people quickly found out Watson has an exclusive inspect animation that only plays on her with the Havoc, where she does this. She shocks it a little, puts a little bit of energy into it, and it's a perfect mesh of her personality and the weapon, and this only plays with her. She wasn't the only one to get an animation like this, as around the same time, Respawn gave the G7 Scout a new inspect animation that looked like this on everybody apart from Bangalore, who got her own G7 inspect animation where she inspects it very closely, showing how familiar she is with it, and also the fact that it's her iconic weapon. Ballistic also has one with the P2020. This is the normal P20 inspect for every legend, and then here is Ballistic's P20 inspect. And this is actually a reference to John Wick, where he does this advanced maneuver to check if a bullet is chambered. There have been a lot of Ballistic John Wick references. In fact, when he came out, there was this promotional picture of him, which is literally copied from John Wick. Really cool stuff. That isn't the only exclusive inspect on the P20 though, as when you switch it to Akimbo, every legend has this inspect with it, until you use Mirage, where he has a special flare inspect, where he flings the guns around and has a really lengthy and really cool inspect animation. So if you ever play Mirage, inspect those P20s. Honestly, I don't know why they chose Mirage to have this inspect, but I ain't complaining. The dual Mozams do have special inspects as well, with every single legend except Lifeline of course. Their inspect animation is this, but when Lifeline gets her Mozambique hands on this, she does this, a really cool little trick, which plays into the old meme which has died a bit, where Lifeline goes, Mozambique. There is one final special exclusive interaction with the P20s, as every single legend except from Alter picks the P2020s up like this. Pretty casual, right? But when Alter picks the P20s up, when she picks her second P20 up, it will actually be her tail that picks it up and hands it to her hand, which is pretty cool. And funnily enough, this isn't the only special animation involving Alter's tail. She actually has another one later on. Now, I'm not sure whether you would class this as a weapon in a sense, but Rampart's Sheila actually has inspect animations, which will be a surprise to most of you, and as you can imagine, Rampart has an exclusive inspect animation that only she plays on Sheila. This is every legend except Rampart inspecting it. They kind of seem confused by it, they don't really have good knowledge of how it functions, and they kind of seem almost scared to touch it because it isn't theirs. But when Rampart inspects it, she shows clear proficiency. She's made it, she owns this thing, and she loves it. And this is once again a really cool feature because Respawn didn't really have to put an inspect animation on Sheila, but the fact that they did adds a lot of personality. Also, Sheila has some pretty cool screens on it. The cool thing is, 90% of these animations I've talked about were added after Apex release, so Respawn keep adding cool little secret animations, which is great, and we do know that they are planning at some point to bring a new Eva 8 inspect animation, we just don't know when. Staying on the topic of legend-specific animations, loads of legends have favourite weapons, and the way you can tell they have favourite weapons is they have special interactions with them. Like, of course, Vantage loves the Sentinel, so she has special pickup animations for the Sentinel, and she has two actually. She has this one where she picks it up and brushes it off, and then she has this one where Echo actually climbs up the Sentinel, which is pretty cool. Also, you can actually see her sling it on her back, so this is different to what every other legend has where it's just a normal boring pickup animation. At one point there was a pretty strange glitch where the Vantage special Sentinel pickup animation applied to every legend, which was jarring for a bit, but Respawn have since fixed that. Of course, Mad Maggie, having a passive based around shotguns and a personality based around shotguns, loves shotguns, and when she picks up Mastiff, she has a special pickup animation that only applies to her, where she kicks it up into her hands, and if you shoot immediately after this animation finishes, it looks absolutely awesome, and it's far different to the animation every other legend has, which is super boring. Fuse has a special relationship with a 30-30 repeater, where he actually spins it. Once again, if you shoot after this animation, it looks absolutely awesome. Ballistic and Bangalore have exclusive car pickup animations, but they aren't too flashy, say. It's just kind of the way they cock the gun. And Gibraltar, of course, has a special relationship with a Peacekeeper, so when he picks it up, he spins it every single time. You can force this animation on other legends who have an ability that takes up their second hand, but Gibby is the only one who is truly consistent with this animation. And of course, Rampart has a special relationship with every LMG, so she has a special pickup animation and also a special reload animation for every LMG in the game, and in my opinion, she looks the coolest when handling the Rampage. Of course, I'm still waiting for the day Respawn realize Mirage should have a special wingman pickup animation, because that could be totally awesome, but we don't have that yet. There are some more exclusive animations in weird ways. For example, if you go into third person, Octane has an exclusive animation when idling with a grenade in his hand, where he does some pretty cool tricks, which no other legends can come close to. I'm a big fan of this one, honestly, really plays into his personality. Also, Crypto's Heirloom actually have an exclusive animation when interacting with survey beacons. This is awesome. We need more exclusive Heirloom interaction animations, because they did this and then never did anything like it again for some reason. Although Vantage does also have a special interaction animation with survey beacons as well, where Echo actually joins in, and of course the OG Pathfinder has a special interaction with the survey beacon where he turns into a USB. Once again, pretty cool stuff. One a lot of people don't know about, and when you see it you can't unsee it, is the fact that robots have their own syringe animations. Because obviously it doesn't really make sense that robots are syringing themselves, Respawn decided to add a bit of robotic flair to their syringe animations that could make it seem a bit more plausible. Pathfinder does this. This is a really cool visual countdown to when his syringe is done, and of course you get the Marvin thumbs up at the end. And with Ash, hers isn't too different from every other Legends syringe animation, but still it's different enough to show her like kind of soulless robotic ways. This season, the Ultimate Accelerant actually got a brand new animation, but on top of that, Vantage got a new animation when charging up her sniper with the Ultimate Accelerant, which only applies to her. This was only added about one season ago, so it's cool that Respawn are going back and adding stuff like this. It really adds some personality to the game, and I'm sure the Vantage mains, all 10 of them, appreciate it greatly. On to Heirlooms though. For Legend-specific animations on Heirlooms, we can only really talk about universal Heirlooms because they can be put on any Legend. So over on the Karambit, Alta actually has a special third-person animation when idle and holding the Karambit, where she bounces it off her tail, which is some really cool flair. I like it when they kind of use Alta's tail like a third arm. Also, staying on the Karambit, I found out a few months ago that Legends have one of 3 skill levels assigned to them when using the Karambit. Legends like Watson and Horizon have a beginner skill set assigned to them when using the Karambit, meaning they can never successfully do this animation here. They always drop the Karambit at the end of it. There's also a middle skill level where Legends can successfully finish this animation sometimes, but other times accidentally drop it, and then an expert skill level for Legends like Wraith and Alta, where they complete this animation every single time and never drop the Karambit, which is cool and took a lot of experimentation from me to find out how this worked. Moving on to the Power Sword, Newcastle does have one exclusive animation with it, where he actually shield bashes for one of his attacks. No other Legends do this with a Power Sword, only Newcastle, which is really cool to find out. And then, unfortunately for Universal Heirlooms, that's it. I would have thought stuff like the Serpent Sting would have special animations on characters like Bangalore, but no. And I'm pretty sure that was every Legend-specific animation in the game, so subscribe for more videos like this.